Allow me a small rant on the double bodyweight back squat for athletes argument. And this is something that I think is kind of mind-blowing in some fashion, that it's even a concern for some people that the double bodyweight back squat is something that needs to be weighed both in the pros and the cons. And this goes for pretty much the vast majority of sports and for the vast majority of athletes. The idea that a double bodyweight back squat is a massive milestone for any athlete who is training professionally, semi-professionally, or well dedicated to their sport is kind of concerning, the fact that people think this is a huge squat. But if we think about it, most sports, most athletes are somewhere in the region of 65 to 95 kilos. Let's take an average of 80 kilos or something there in the middle. Most athletes are going to be looking at squatting 160 kilos, preferably below parallel, preferably a deeper squat. This shouldn't be a huge milestone. This is a thing that most late teenage males could hit, definitely people in their 20s, in 2 or 3 off seasons at their leisure. It shouldn't be something where you're weighing up the pros and cons like it's this big journey. For most people in an off season, about two 1 hour sessions per week in the gym is something that most people could get there. It's not something crazy that you need to be worried about hitting. It benefits a lot of areas of your fitness, and it's not something that needs to be thought about as this massive change in training. Should you be happy about hitting a double body at back squat? Absolutely. But it does need to be framed in this kind of huge milestone where you need to adjust everything in your life to get there. For most reasonably talented athletes who are training with some dedication or above, should be able to hit it without issue.
When it comes to strength, these two guys know what they're talking about, and I 100% agree with them. You are grossly underestimating how strong you could get on your squat. It's just consistent training over a couple of years. What he says here is he thinks most people can achieve it with just 2 1-hour strength sessions per week within a year or two. The strength standards I have for Gaelic footballers, I try to get everyone to 1.5 body weight squat. So if you weigh 80, that'll be about 120 for 6 to 8 reps. Now the range of motion is going to affect the weight a lot here, so make sure you're going below parallel like he says, and I put a huge emphasis on range of motion with my clients, getting as deep as possible, because preparing the body for a very awkward sport like Gaelic football, where you're completely exposed to a massive variety of very dynamic movements, I want the range of motion to be as big as possible in the gym so that you're strong in these end ranges and you have far less likely chance of injury. If you're using lifting weights to improve your performance on the GA pitch, then squats, split squats and lunges should be your top priority. They are the most bang for your buck. Make sure you're focusing on them and don't underestimate how strong you can get with the right coaching, the right technique and progressive overload. Let's go.